The Smith Tower shooting suspect enters his plea. Battleground residents sound off on a plan to annex into Fire District 3, and medical professionals talk vaping after the state bans flavored e-cigarettes. Those stories and more on today's edition of the Week in Review from ClarkCountyToday.com. Hey everyone, happy Friday. I'm Chris Brown. Let's start with a follow-up to a story that was breaking news this time last week. 80-year-old Robert Breck appeared in court this week, pleading not guilty to a charge of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder in the Smith Tower shooting. Breck allegedly shot Dean Tunstall several times in the chest after what he told detectives was a simmering feud. Also shot were Breck's former caretaker and another woman who lived at the low-income senior living apartment building. Breck declined to apply for bail. A trial date was set for next May. Members of the public had their first chance to sound off this week over a plan in Battleground to annex into Clark County Fire District 3 for fire and emergency services.
I'm concerned either way the annexation is good for the fire department, but it may end up looking bad on them if all of these city services are kind of linchpinned onto the annexation and the transferring of funds to the fire department. I think it smacks a little bit of a bait and switch, what we were told years ago during the contract change, and that it was a good financial decision for the department, and now we're being told it's not.
Right now, Battleground is the only city in Clark County to contract for fire services. Under the 6-year deal, which expires at the end of 2021, $1.35 of the city's $1.37 property tax levy goes to Fire District 3. The city says another contract would mean cutting services to save money and still require cuts in other areas of government.
General fund revenue for 2021 is $15 million, and our general fund expenditures are $15.8 million. That's a projected deficit of $800,000. That is after, for the 2020 budget, we've made over $630,000 worth of cuts.
From the perspective of Fire District 3 Chief Scott Sorensen, annexation would allow them to plan further out for dealing with growth.
Another real possibility, and most likely, is that we'll do some reduction of staff services or staff levels, especially during daytime hours. I don't have an exact FTE, but the equivalency would be about 3, and that's a problem because, like I said before, with the volume in this small city, this small area, this footprint, there's a lot of back-to-back calls, so that really poses problems for how we take care of those needs.
Under annexation, the property tax bill on a median home worth $310,000 would see the annual bill go up by around $275 annually, even with a cut in the city's utility tax rate from 22% to 12%. But the city says the extra funding will shore up police services, help maintain streets and parks, and fund a trail system around the city. The annexation must be approved by voters on the February 11th ballot next year.
I understand all the tax issues and what we're going to have to do, but I also understand what's going to happen if we don't do this. I understand the cuts that are going to have to be made. I understand that we don't have other choices.
Now, residents have 2 more chances to sound off at the October 21st City Council meeting and an October 28th meeting by Fire District 3 in Brush Prairie. This week, the Washington State Board of Health followed the lead of Oregon, banning vaping products, flavored vaping products, that is. The move comes following a rash of illnesses and even deaths connected to vaping. We spoke with 2 experts from Peace Health Southwest Medical Group on the issue earlier this week.
There were studies, Harvard did a study that was reported back in June of 2016 that was talking about the damage that the chemicals in the vaping liquids would cause. Been telling my patients ever since then, do not start using e-cigarettes because this is going to be a very deadly disease, it's going to be quick, and it's going to be a disease of years, not decades, like tobacco cigarettes. Kind of the best thing I can say is just, we knew that this was going to happen quicker because we'd already seen it in the food industry. How quickly that happened to those people that were working there and got exposed to the same type of fumes. That flavoring that was involved, that diacetyl, and what it did. 1 puff off of an e-cigarette causes the oxygenation of the tissue of the airways to become what's called hypoxic, meaning the saturation of oxygen in that tissue is 88% or less. When your cells don't have enough oxygen, they will either die or If they do survive and they're replicating, they're going to replicate incorrectly. And now you're going to have abnormal cells. We did the same thing with cigarettes, saying, oh, here, these are good for you. This will help with this. We're doing the same thing with the e-cigarettes. Oh, this will help you quit smoking tobacco cigarettes. Albeit, it's still going to give you emphysema, and it's still going to give you some kind of cancer, more than likely. And so far, with this latest result, yeah, probably bladder cancer, probably lung cancer, just like tobacco cigarettes. But it's okay. These will help you stop smoking regular cigarettes. So I don't see it as a win, and I don't see it that they're quitting. All they did was switch from one device to another.
The thing that really gets me angry is that what I learned from the conference is that the Juul company was purchased by Philip Morris Tobacco Company for $13 billion. And they market to kids by making it easy to conceal the product in little devices that look like a USB port, that look like an inhaler. Kids with asthma will bring their inhalers. Well, how would the teachers know in high school? Kids that start vaping and they've been vaping for just a few months end up in the hospital on ventilators. And those that don't die end up with some permanent damage to their lungs. They'll be pulmonary cripples. Some of them, they're on life support. And then they can come off life support, but they're not going to be athletes. That's pretty sad.
Public displays of arts can be seen across the landscape of the city of Washougal now in an effort to continue expanding arts influence in the community. The city created the Washougal Arts Commission in May of this year. This month they are receiving applications for seats on that commission and will choose 5 to 9 people. The funding for the group was allocated by the city earlier this year and is set at $5,000. Above that, funds will be approved through grants, donations, and admission charges for future art exhibits, events, or programs. Mayor Molly Costin told us it's a very nuanced commission. I think if you get 9 people that don't all have a passion for the arts together, I think you're going to create some vitality, she said. Applications can be found on the city's website. Speaking of art, Richfield held their 20th annual Bird Fest and Bluegrass Festival last weekend. The event brought unique birds native to the region and some from across the country for folks to see up close. The day's event also included performances, an outdoor market, wildlife walks, and a Native American salmon bake at the Catlapoto Plank House in the Richfield Wildlife Refuge. For more information on Richfield's upcoming events, visit our calendar and the city's website. Time now for your ClarkCountyToday.com sports update with our own Paul Valencia.
Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you got a chance to see our Monday sports update. I was in the other Clark County on a mini vacation to Las Vegas, but I took the time to file a report. I just had to show you highlights of Prairie's big football win over Kelso. Later in the week, we brought you a midseason report on high school football and a look ahead. Week 6 started Thursday night with a huge game between Prairie and Mountain View. And in the 4A GSHL, Skyview and Union play each other Friday night. Take a look at ClarkCountyToday.com for the stories and stats from those games. Oh, and the postseason started in one sport this week. The 4A and 3A district boys golf tournaments were having some weather issues Thursday. Check back on the site for results. And of course, on Monday, we will have highlights from the Prairie Mountain View and Skyview Union football games.
Hey, by the way, if you're looking for ideas to fill the rest of your weekend, be sure to check out our event calendar at ClarkCountyToday.com. Of course, you can also check out a number of local pumpkin patches. We're touring some of them on our own, so watch for a tour of some popular spots soon. And be sure to catch the Columbia Credit Union Remodeled Homes Tour happening this weekend. You can get tickets and more information at remodeledhomestour.com. There you have a quick check of some of our top stories this week at ClarkCountyToday.com. If you have a story idea or feedback to share, you can send us an email to news@ClarkCountyToday.com or follow our social media channels on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to be part of the conversation. For all of us at ClarkCountyToday.com, I'm Chris Brown. Have a great weekend. Thanks so much for watching. We'll talk to you next week.